this is quite a rare opportunity to get to sit amongst friends and enjoy talking about property and also discussing a bit of a passion of both Ad and mine, a bit of drums. But first of all, Ad, it's really nice to have you over from the Netherlands, and thanks ever so much. I know it's a long way to come. Why are you in the UK first and foremost?
Well, for this particular weekend, it was a holiday combined with looking at the new property we just recently acquired. So that was the reason for my visit to the UK.
And it's been a bit of a travel down as well. So you started in Hay-on-Wye.
Hay-on-Wye, yeah.
Worked your way down to Newport.
Yeah.
And then it's Newbury and then home?
Newbury, home and back to work. Yeah, so
you can never escape that, unfortunately. Not yet, anyway.
Not yet. No.
But I think what's really good about your story in particular, and obviously we've been speaking for 2 or 3 years now. You work full time, you have your own businesses, and you've got a property portfolio that spans from up in Liverpool down into South Wales. How do you find juggling all of those things together?
Daunting at times. Daunting. The thing which I must admit is I kind of underestimated the time I needed to put into acquiring the property, and what are the things to look for, what are the things we do not see. But also what the nice thing is about taking a risk, or for me it's a risk, but it's also a great opportunity to try something new, which is basically something I've done for the last 2-3 years, and it's kind of stimulating to go on and to go to continue working with trying to find a nice property. With the respect, we'll have to build up a relationship with the people you work with, and that's something I gladly do and enjoy very much.
Absolutely, and that's a really important part as well. I think people forget, and unless you work in a business or you own a business yourself, everything about business is people focused, isn't it? And something that's really good that I've noticed that you do is that you take that when you come over to the UK. So you've got great relationships with solicitors, with the people that manage your properties, obviously your sourcing partners, and the most important one, your broker as well.
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And do you find that that's made your property journey easier, or would you say that it still had its challenges in spite of that?
Well, we do have to maintain a business focus, but we do deal I would like to do my dealings with people whom I trust, people who know the business, who know the area. And it's from a foreign investor point of view, I think impossible to do the right investments if you don't know the people who are working for you. So building up the relationship and this way trying to build a portfolio is essential for me.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. Now the interesting thing is you've got property, as we said, up in Leeds, and you've now ventured finally into South Wales as well. What was it about South Wales that you particularly liked?
Well, first, I also look at the Wales as a tourist. I also like to visit a place which is nice to visit, where the people are friendly, and where the prices for the properties are at the stage for me now, which are quite good and quite acceptable. And the first thing was because I already have an investment in a development program, a land project.
That's right, yeah, I forgot about that.
In Merthyr Tydfil, or whatever the way it is you pronounce it.
You say it very good. Even I can't say it that well yet, and I'm technically from the area.
Yeah. But that's the first project, and that's when I came into contact with the Welsh market. Then I went to Liverpool and to Newport and to Newcastle area, but now it's for me it's just a way of going and trying to expand more. And me and my wife, we like the Welsh market, so that's why we want to expand here as well.
Makes a lot of sense. Now this new property that you've got in Newport, so it was interesting that a property in Newport finally came up, because they are a bit like gold dust at the moment. Can you tell us a little bit about Cortibella as a property and how you actually came to purchase it? What was involved in the buying process?
Well, it was through an auction, and the property looked from the outside okay, and the property was also two apartments. In an area which is close to the center of Newport, as I understand, and we were quite curious in how to get for this property, which was a good buy through the auction, and and it looked quite well done up on the inside. Only on the outside, it was kind of worrying. And when I looked through, I used the Google Maps and tried to do Street View. It was kind of worrying for, is this the right property? But the thing I have learned in the last 3 years is that we do not want to want to live there yourself.
Yeah.
And because I've learned to do this way, that we do not have to live there themselves, you get a different focus, and you start seeing a property as an investment project. So that's basically the way I do and look at my properties now.
And it's actually quite a smart move as well. I always remember watching Homes Under the Hammer, one of those programs in the UK where people buy at auction, they spend a load of money doing it up, and they hope to turn a profit at the end. And I remember there were so many people on that program that focused in the early years of making it their own. You know, if I lived here, this is how I'd want it to look. But you do have to separate yourself from that sometimes. You know, as you've quite rightly said, you don't need to see yourself living there. You need to see that your money's working as an investment. So that makes absolute sense for sure.
Yeah.
And this one's quite an interesting property overall as well, isn't it? Because like you said, inside there wasn't loads to do. There's a few specific things that we're looking at the moment. But obviously you've got 2 flats that you bought for a fantastic price, and you've got a title split opportunity there, so you're adding value by, as Howard says, shuffling a few bits of paper. But obviously that works really nicely from your perspective, doesn't it? And how does that work for you as a property? Because whereas you've bought historically, you know, one property, or you've done the development, for example, having 2 flats in one block, does that make your life easier? Does that open up opportunities to you?
Absolutely. The whole title split is something I'm looking into right now. And because it's one property with 2 apartments, there's one way of looking at it. But the fact that we can do a title split and add value to the property directly without doing too much work, well, we have to go through the solicitors, and it's going to be a bit tougher and a bit longer road to get that done. But eventually, when we have the first year and we can have some tenants who live in the property and who are quite happy to live there and pay the rent.
That's the important part.
So they don't want to pay the rent anymore. We're in a big problem. So,
exactly.
Well, we don't like problems.
No, you're exactly right. So from Harvey Bow's perspective, you've worked with us to find the property. Obviously, we worked with you on the auction on that. There was the funding side, so that was done via a bridge, which was actually quite smooth, considering it was all very quick and it had to be done there and then on the spot. MS Lending came up trumps for us and helped us get that lending. We've then got Harvey Bow's helping with the project management. So Sian's going to be doing an amazing job on that, and I think she's already got a lot of works underway. All of those works will be completed, and then it'll be down to finding the right tenants and getting it managed as well. So when you haven't got to think about all of those things, it takes a lot of the pressure off.
And it makes your life easier.
It does.
Yeah.
But then the biggest question, what's next?
What's next? Well, the sensible thing is not to get too overconfident, be business-like, but on the other hand, being able to, daring enough to take a risk, or a small risk, or a calculated risk, whenever you try to buy a next property. And,
absolutely.
The way we're going now, we'll have to feel good about the property, because as you know, if something doesn't feel right, I'm not going to go through with it. I don't want to mention the Trigger HMO, which didn't feel good at the time for us, and it might be a great property to invest in. At the time, it was not right for us. So that's what, apart from all the business-like and rational and doing your due diligence, etc., but if it doesn't feel right, you just shouldn't go ahead with it. So
absolutely. And that's really important as well. And I think that's why, going back to those relationships that you've developed both here in South Wales with us, but also with your partners in the north of England, you get a feel for the area and you get a feel for knowing whether something's going to work for you or not. Exactly. So that's really good. But Ad, I'm really grateful that you came to see us today. It was really good fun. And talking about feel, we're now going to go on to play a little bit of drums for the last couple of minutes of our day before Ad sets back off to London. So Ad, thanks again to you and to Sandra, actually. Thanks ever so much for both coming in. And we'll see you all again very soon. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
to purchase a property for investment or development? Look no further. At Harvey Bose, we pride ourselves in finding ways to make complex and niche deals work, making sure to explore all the possible strategies and matching the right financing structure to the needs of each investor. Contact Harvey Bose today. Property finance by investors, for investors.